And we heard, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, welcome back. We're reacting to some good old Benny Johnson. Vivek breaks Eminem, destroys rapper for endorsing Kamala and Dick Cheney. The real Slim Shady. I saw that shit and I was like, I lost all respect for Eminem, dude. What a bitch. Eminem, you a bitch, dude. How are you going to release an album about hating woke ideology and all the cancel culture that follows it? Then you're going to sell out to the party that's for all this woke ideology. You a fucking bitch, dude. You
when
a
I start
bitch.
Talking about Trump, I get too flustered in my... When I start talking about Trump,
oh my god,
I get too flustered in my
he
head.
gets too flustered. Oh no.
So sometimes I start talking and I don't.
Good old brainwashing here at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. Orange Man bad. You'd think someone who's considered a lyrical genius would be able to conduct his own research and make his own informed opinions. No. Instead, he lets his emotions control him. Yeah, great. But I guess he hates woke ideology till they offer him a fatty paycheck, right? I guess that's the only time when he's like, "Oh, woke ideology, my friend. Yes, cancel culture. Yes." Like, what a bitch, dude. You a sellout.
I'm not able to convey the message the right way because I just get flustered and frustrated. I don't know,
Shut
man.
the fuck up,
I get really flustered.
You're a fucking sellout. That's just the end of it. What a fucking sellout. Over there with a diddler and shit.
How are you?
You know?
Dude, you look great in a garbage outfit, in a garbage vest. We have a ton of people here, but like sort of a wrap-up of this day. It was an amazing day.
I thought it was a good day. I mean, every time Joe Biden speaks, thinks he's issuing some kind of insult, it's an opportunity, which makes me wonder what his actual motivations are, but we'll leave that for another day. The guy we rode around with, Leo, I mean, he's just a great
what
dude.
the fuck? Oh, shit.
He loves the country. He's got 4 kids. He's working hard to make sure they have a better life. He's moved to North Carolina to be able to
that's
secure the
fucking
best job he
insane,
can
dude.
get. And we asked him. I mean, you were sitting in the car when I asked him, how did it make you feel when Joe Biden said half of America who supports Donald Trump is garbage?
This is interesting for me to see this because the ones that the garbage trucks that we have, they have a claw on like the side that extends out, grabs the bin, pulls it up, and then just flips it into the trunk or into the compartment where it compacts all the trash. Then it de-extends. Then it goes back and it goes back down and it sets it back down. And the claw opens, and that's how you do it. And it's all controlled from within the driver's seat. Or I guess they drive because it's on the right hand side. They drive on the right hand side, so I guess it's on the quote unquote passenger side, but it's still on the driver's side, and they can control it all from there. And it's very interesting because I always was curious how these functioned.
And he said it was personally insulting, not just to him as a Trump supporter, but as a guy who actually carries out, I think, a noble profession. And somebody, and by the way, I think you and I both had an appreciation, I certainly did, for the fact that this is not easy work, complex machinery. And the guy was just a great
Very
dude.
complex,
so
dude.
my
It's heavy
favorite part of the
machinery.
night, actually, Benny, was when I brought him on stage up with us at the event itself, and just hearing the whole crowd chant Leo the whole night. That I thought was the best part of the event because it was the opposite of Joe Biden, disrespecting and spitting in the face of the
I just saw this. That's fucking funny.
working man and the everyday American. We were able to do something more positive and a little different, which I thought was pretty cool.
So here's you actually bringing Leo up on stage, actually defending the working class and defending the people who
those
build
are blue
the
collar
country,
workers, dude.
who fight for the country, who, if the country goes to war, will be the ones having to stand at arms and head into the trenches. Last night, Donald Trump saying Liz Cheney would never dare do that. Now, this is something that...
Oh, I remember that. Yo, that was insane, dude. They like... oh my god, dude. The media manipulation is insane, man. Like, the liberal media manipulation is fucking wild. They'll take a portion of of what he said and take it out of context so hard. It's fucking embarrassing, man. Like I heard that shit, what he said about Liz Cheney. And he didn't say, let's shoot at Liz Cheney. He said, why doesn't Liz Cheney go to the front lines and see what it's like being shot at by the enemy? You know, that's what he said. He's like, why doesn't Liz Cheney? But Liz Cheney's all for war because they're in their office. That's what Trump said. That if Liz Cheney had to go out in the field and was getting shot at by these high caliber rifles, Liz Cheney wouldn't be a warmonger. But then they take that shit out of context, and then it's like, oh no, he threatened Liz Cheney. It's like, what? Now, granted, it does sound bad. Like, his phrasing and shit is like atrocious at times. I will say that. He could phrase shit better. But at the end of the day, the underlying message is still there. And if you can't really use a little bit of common sense to see what the underlying message is, you're boned. I don't even think this is using common sense. I think this is just outright, like I said, media manipulation and shit.
This morning. But effectively, all Donald Trump did last night with Tucker Carlson, and we'll pop the B-roll up here, but all Trump did last night with Tucker Carlson was say, Liz Cheney and war hawks and neocons like her will never go fight in the wars. They view your sons and daughters as cannon fodder for their wars. And now the entire Democrat Party and the media ecosystem is uniting around the neocons and the war hawks and against those people that actually fight wars in our country. I want to get.
Are they actually going to play the clip?
Sure.
Let's go.
There's
no audio.
Here's what Trump had to say. Let's have a listen again.
And Cheney was so, he said, I really want to thank you. He said, now I'm so glad that I actually endorsed you. It's amazing, but that you would do this. And I didn't speak to him about it. But then, go a couple of years forward or go now. And I don't blame him for sticking with his daughter, but his daughter is a very dumb individual, very dumb. She's a radical war hawk. Let's put her with a rifle standing there with 9 barrels shooting at her, okay? Let's see how she feels about it. When the guns are trained on her face. They're all war hawks when they're...
His phrasing there... Bottle of water. But his phrasing there, it's a little fucky, yes. But, which sucks ass, because it then leads to him leaving himself open for the left to attack him, and then all this media manipulation and shit, taking shit out of context. But he never said, why don't we shoot at her? He said, how would she like it if she was in the trenches getting shot at by 10 rifles like our soldiers are? Our soldiers are getting shot at. Oh my god, I literally saw a video where our own troops fucked up a bombing, dude, and literally dropped a bomb on our own troops. And I was like, holy shit, who signed off on that? Someone's getting fucked over for that one. But it was just fucking wild. So yeah. Jesus fuck, man.
Sitting in Washington in a nice building saying, oh, gee, let's send 10,000 troops right into the mouth of the enemy.
So this is what Trump said. I mean, we say this on the show every single day, that none of these people actually fight the wars that they start. I want to get your take on this.
Yeah, I think Trump is really stating a blunt fact, which is that you got incentives of people who sit there, many of whom directly or indirectly make money off of their contracts or other companies from going to war, but who don't actually face the consequences of those same wars, which is their sons and daughters or themselves dying on the front lines. You're even entering the lexicon right now, the possibility of sending American troops to Ukraine. That idea has been introduced in recent weeks as well. This is what we were told a year and a half ago was an impossibility. And so I think President Trump, the irony is he's part of the Republican Party, the leader of the Republican Party, no doubt about it. Yet the Republican Party before Donald Trump was the party that in many ways was pushing for a lot of these no-win, endless foreign wars. And the beautiful thing is now you've seen other...
It's insane how the flip happened from fucking Bush, whatnot, and the Republican Party during George W. Bush's administration being all pro-war with all the shit going on in Iraq and whatnot. Then now you see a massive flip where it's like the Republican Party's trying to end wars and not start any new ones, and then you have the Democratic Party being like Israel, Ukraine, Iran, and all this other shit. And it's like, brother, this is fucking wild. It's like some Twilight Zone shit, honestly. Like, you never thought the Republican Party would be the ones advocating for healthier food, removal of cancer-inducing pesticides being used at fucking farms and shit. These big mega corporation-owned farms.
Democrats come
Fucking
along
wild.
and say that, yes, we're also in favor of the party of peace. That's just now the Republican Party. And in the other direction, you see a migration of Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. In some ways, it's actually making sense, Benny. So some people are saying, well, what's going on? Republicans and Democrats, the lines don't matter anymore. It's just a realignment. Actually, the people who are pro-war are migrating to the Democratic Party, and the people who are pro-peace and pro-prosperity without going to war are migrating to the Republican Party. It's because of Donald Trump's leadership, and frankly, I think it's starting to make a lot of sense.
I hope we get more people like Trump, you know, as presidents moving forward. People, and what I mean by that is people who are businessmen and understand how the world works and don't have an agenda to push, you know, instead of these fucking politicians that are career politicians that just try to use the system to their advantage. I mean, I think he put it best back when he ran in 2016, dude. When he said, when he fucking told Hillary Clinton, like, why didn't you do anything when you were senator? You know, you were in office for this long and you didn't do anything. And then he claps back again with, oh, right, now I know why. It's because all your endorsers and your friends use the same tax codes and tax breaks that I do. And I was like, I saw that and I was like, God damn.
The one thing that doesn't make
Really
sense
just put
to
her in her
me,
place.
Vivek, is that people who made their careers off of hating on the Cheneys, like Eminem, who I know you're a fan of, we've all seen you rap Eminem.
Of the real Eminem, not the thing that's parading around as Eminem at Marshall Mathers today. Yeah.
So
the
so
real
just,
Slim
as,
Shady,
we all
dude.
watched this clip. It's a great clip.
Hey, yo.
Rapping Lose Yourself. Two questions.
Yo, that's insane, dude.
Barack Obama swagger jacked you and rapped Lose Yourself at a rally for Kamala Harris with Eminem. I want to get your take on that.
That's pathetic.
Firstly, because he actually stole your set.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I felt fucking fifth-hand embarrassment for that dude. I was like, oh my god, what are you doing? Why? You're at a rally, dude. It's like, oh my god, dude. And then Eminem came out and I was like, oh, you fucking sellout bitch.
Stole your set.
You soy boy sellout bitch.
Benny. I don't think that he stole much of anything because I don't think to say he rapped it was, I think,
He just read it.
He might
oh, if they play it, I can make this comment after.
Shakespearean sonnet rendition, imitation, or something like that. I'm not sure exactly what he was going for. But
are they going to play the audio clip?
It was rather embarrassing to watch, and I would love competitors. Okay, I would love competitors, but Barack Obama ain't one of them. I'm just going to tell you that. Watch those videos side by side, and I'll let the audience be the judge of who actually pulled that off.
Do the audio, please.
Eminem made his career off of dissing Dick Cheney, and now
okay, they're not okay. It's funny. I heard him do that shit, and now that I think about it, it reminds me of that episode of Futurama where Fry and the gang take Nimoy's head to try to find the other cast members of the Star Trek show because Star Trek became a religion, and then they just banned it outright, and all traces of Star Trek disappeared from the planet. And then they get down to like where they are, and I forgot the dude's name, the gas being's name, but they have this weird comedy skit, and fucking and William Shatner reads out the real Slim Shady, and Leela was like, I didn't know someone could do a read by read of a rap. That's what it reminds me of because he was so monotone and shit.
Now Eminem is advocating to get Dick Cheney back in office and his daughter.
So it's insane, actually. So one of my
But he hates the
it's
woke
funny you brought this up. The
ideology
Barack
in
Obama
his
thing going
latest
off to Lose
album.
Yourself. That's the set that I did at the Iowa State Fair last year. But actually, one of my favorite Eminem songs is "Without Me," and he literally addresses in that song Ms. Cheney. He said, "Ms. Cheney, I know you got a job already, but your husband's heart problem's complicating." And then he goes on and said the same song. I'm not kidding. It's the same song. The FCC won't let me be me. They won't let me go on MTV. So that's the Eminem who was anti-censorship, against three-letter administrative state agencies in the bureaucracy, against Dick Cheney and Ms. Cheney, as he called it out, for going into wars. And yet here he is now endorsing the candidate who, as the Cheneys have joined, the pro-censorship party, the pro-bureaucracy party that wants the FCC to go around censoring people. Like it's just a change.
Outside. I'll be right back. Hold up. All right. Trash outside. Garbage truck.
Of such remarkable order that you'd say it's maybe the same flesh, as in the same biological human being, but it's a hollowed out husk of what's left inside. I think my question for him is, will the real Slim Shady please stand up, right? That's really what's left. And the guy standing up there might be called Marshall Mathers, but it isn't really the Eminem that we knew from when you and I were growing up, who was the guy the guy who wanted free speech, the guy who refused to be silenced by the establishment, has now joined the establishment that actually wants to do that very silencing with Dick Cheney, the guy he used to diss on.
It's
right
insane, dude.
And Ms. Cheney, who he referred to, he said, I know you have a job already. That job is going to be Secretary of Defense if Kamala Harris takes the presidency, to bring it full circle to fight those wars that he was supposedly against. It doesn't make any sense. And so I hope the real Eminem, the real Slim Shady, does stand up. But that ain't the guy you got on the screen right there.
Vivek, you're cooking, man. We do have a photo leaked to us of Eminem's new album here.
Insane.
Here you go. He got Eminem has Liz Cheney. Eminem is betraying his fan. It does seem like a betrayal. Just a quick comment.
It is a huge betrayal, dude.
Only Houdini could have pulled off that type of magic. I'll just leave it at that. For people who don't know, that's the album.
Joe Rogan saying that being a Republican is the party being an actual rebel, being actually against the system now in his interview with Donald Trump.
I mean, that strikes me as, I mean, Joe's right, but it also is just, with due respect to Joe, I mean, it's obvious. And so what I love about Joe is sometimes he's able to say the obvious and it's still controversial, but it takes somebody to actually step up and say it. But obviously, being a Republican right now, especially in our generation or in Gen Z, is the rebellious thing to do. I was in Westchester.
Being a Republican, being conservative, being religious, all that shit is nowadays, like, shit that back in the day was the norm is now considered rebellious. That's just funny as fuck, dude. That's just funny as shit. I apologize if y'all could hear that fucking garbage truck going by. Speaking of garbage.
Pennsylvania yesterday on a college campus. I'm not kidding, Benny. We're sitting outdoors. There are, bar none, thousands of people who show up. We're sitting in a little booth. It's like the equivalent of this table I'm sitting in front of to have conversations with students. There's thousands of people gathered just to listen to those one-on-one conversations we're having, because they're sick and tired of being told to shut up, sit down, and do as they're told. There was a Kamala Harris voter. I think my favorite interaction yesterday was, she's a black woman.
I've
she's
seen
going
those.
to law
They're
school.
insane.
She's a Kamala Harris voter, and she told me I couldn't change her mind. But she came up and she said that she couldn't get ahead in this country because of the effects of systemic racism.
Oh
my
my God,
there's a lot of people
dude.
here wearing MAGA hats. I told her, I've worked in finance in New York City. I have a law degree. I could tell you that at a law firm or wherever she might want to work, there would be more discrimination against any one of those people wearing a red MAGA hat than there would be against somebody having black skin. And that opened up, I think, a real conversation of a kind we hadn't had on college campuses 3, 4, 5 years ago. So,
yeah, I mean, it's insane, dude. Like, I fucking saw, I don't know if it was Carter or the Cartier family, or if it was Officer Tatum. No, I think it was the Hodge twins. It was the Hodge twins. I saw a video like yesterday on my lunch. I was at work. I was like, oh, looks interesting. It was this older gentleman, like big dude, and he's trying to vote. There's these 3 fucking black ladies barring him from voting. Like these fucking land whales barring him from voting and shit. Over a fucking hat that he was wearing. And he gets rid of the hat, he throws it off to the side, and then they still fucking are confrontational and shit, not letting him in. And then one of the fucking ladies smacks him. And then they all like surround him like he was the aggressor when she assaulted him. And it was just fucking insane that they're they're like trying to make this dude out to be the bad guy when she literally committed assault on a guy who was just trying to vote, and it was just fucking wild. And all he did was exchange verbal insults and shit, you know, free speech and all. He's allowed to do that. And then she just fucking low IQ mentality snaps and just decides to slap him. And then these other 3 fucking land whales need to surround this one guy because he looked like he was about to fucking beat the shit out of her out of that one slap. And it's funny because I was like, this guy is showing so much self-restraint because he could easily, like, this guy was like fucking 6 foot. I don't know. Like, he was a tall motherfucker, big too. Big older gentleman. And it was just fucking wild that I was like, if he wanted to get through those 2 ladies to fuck up that one bitch who slapped him, he fucking could. And it's funny because there was this one other fucking land whale, and she was like, she had her hand on his chest or her forearm, like trying to stop him, and you could easily see him like pushing her back and shit just by walking normally. And I was like, this is insane, dude. The tolerant left, the quote unquote tolerant left, just attacking a dude because he's wearing a Trump hat. That's fucking wild to me, man. Anyways, let's go on.
So yeah, I think the rebellious thing to do is to call yourself a conservative. Say you want to get married, have kids, pledge allegiance to that flag behind you right there without apologizing for it. That is rebellious today. And I think no matter what they've tried to do, the counterculture now is coming back with a positive vengeance. And I think that in about 4 days, 3 days now, I think we're about to see what that has in store.
One day.
Yeah, man.
As of recording this video.
It's so sad to see how washed up Eminem has become. You're an Eminem fan.
Washed up sellout.
In closing here, what's your message to the real Slim Shady? Like, what's your message to Eminem about what's actually going on in the country?
I think what's going on is you became as a challenger to the establishment. You joined the establishment, but don't worry, there's still time. He's not an old man yet. I still have confidence, right? The real Slim Shady can stand up. You can actually get that rebel to show up.
He won't.
He's just kind of going through a phase. I watched him even perform.
He won't unless 50 Cent and Dre come out as Trump supporters. That'll probably be the only time where Eminem will be like, "Yo, Trump a good guy," and he like sets aside his little fucking frail ego and shit, and he's like, "Yeah, like I mean, you got fucking people like." It's just insane, dude. Even Snoop Dogg endorsed Kamala, and I was like, wow. I guess all that weed must have finally caught up to him and fried his brain, I guess. Like, how can you, as a black man, Snoop Dogg, endorse the person that was imprisoning black women all because their kids were too sick to attend school? How can you support an individual that was locking up black Americans over simple marijuana charges? Snoop Dogg, you'd be in jail under Kamala because you smoke weed up the ass. Like, what? Meanwhile, we have Trump over here suing the state of California for not allowing black American boxers to fight in certain arenas. Back when Muhammad Ali was fighting for world champion, he literally sued. And he invited Ali to fight at the Mar-a-Lago, I think. Could be wrong. Could have been some other place. But he literally sued the state of California because they were discriminating against black American boxers. Oh, but he's the racist one. Yeah. Yeah. Not the Hindi pretending to be a Christian who's Indian pretending to be black.
At the Super Bowl because my Bengals were there a couple of years ago in LA. Kneeling down in favor of Black Lives Matter and BLM. Nobody believes that. It's not credible. It's not something that's authentic. Just be yourself and the actual rebel to the system. And this time around, listen to the song Without Me. You should play it later on the show. The lyrics of that song effectively make the case for Donald Trump, actually. Like if that were played today, if it's Without Me, the person who would not be censored, not shut up by the FCC or 3-letter agencies, the person who wouldn't be taken into random wars by the Cheney family, including Ms. Cheney, which now would apply to Liz Cheney, who he addressed directly. That would be a pro-Trump song today if that came out in 2024. And so just
look probably why he wouldn't release it today.
In some ways, I think we got to be charitable and provide space. Because I'll criticize where it's necessary, and I give my criticism of Eminem. But I think one of the things we're seeing Donald Trump and our movement do a better job of this year is to say that we're going to open our movement to anybody who has a change of heart and finds themselves again, to say that we will always have a place for you. And we've accepted several of those Democrats coming our way this time around. And you know what? If Marshall Mathers is one of them, welcome back the real Slim Shady. We'll take him.
There you go. Hey, man, I mean, I still think this is just me. I still think it's the Diddy tapes. I think a lot of people are scared, and a lot of people are being pushed into endorsements.
I mean, he did say he loved Diddy and that a kill shot
Trump's winning the
song.
rap endorsement game, man. Donald Trump's absolutely winning the rap.
Oh yeah.
I think there's been hundreds
He's
of
spitting
rappers.
he's spitting the lyrics from the stage. That's what he's doing, right?
That's right.
He's not quite rapping them, but he's the guy who's actually unconstrained with his own lyrics, and I think it's a beautiful thing. It ain't on the teleprompter.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
Yeah,
When he
that's
goes
right.
off the teleprompter, that's when he's pulling out the real lyrics, and that's my favorite Donald Trump.
I don't even
Final
think Trump
question,
uses a
Vivek. I know
teleprompter.
you're a young man. I know you're just getting started in your career. Would you rap battle Obama?
I mean, I would, but I think that I would prefer at least somebody who could level as a peer. All right, I would do it, prove the point, and then after that, don't
What
make
a
me do it again. That's
savage.
all I would say.
You gotta. We'll play the raps back to back. We'll play them back to back. Vivek. So
Oh,
awesome.
God.
Such a great race. We're gonna finish the race strong. Everybody follow Vivek. Nearly 3 million people on X follow Vivek.
shit.
Obviously, you know him. One of the best out there. Final message as we power through the tape here. Vivek.
Yeah, look, I think that I really think November 5th is not some destination. That's a trap we can fall into. It's the start line, and we got to define what we're standing for. You and I actually never actually talked about my new book. I had a new book called Truths that came out last month, but I wanted to lay out. This is just the beginning, right? We're going to say "Make America Great Again" now because we need to. 4 years from now, we're not
We
going to
do.
say
We
"Make
honestly
America Great
do.
Again." Okay, we're just
We're
going to say
saying,
"Make
"Keep
America
America."
Greater" because Donald Trump will have done the first part. And so I want people to think long term. It's not just the next 4 days or the next 4 months until he takes office or even the next 4 years. He's going to do his part. But after that, we're just going to be making America greater for the next 250 years.
I feel like if Trump, oh my God, dude, it would be cool if we could go from this fucking weird ass system to a technocracy where we use intelligence and understanding over emotions to dictate how we govern and where we put our money and our advances. That would be cool.
Like we always have. And I'm pumped for not just the near term.
While still obviously
November 5th is the
maintaining our
starting line,
parliamentary republic.
and I'm excited to get there.
whatnot.
And that's why I wrote this book, but it's also going to be one of my areas of focus as we hopefully take power in January.
New York Times, eh?
Not just thinking for the short run, but thinking for the long run of actually reviving our country.
I'm amazed the New York
That's
Times
right.
actually
So that
published this
you
as a
don't have to be
bestseller.
a 50-year-old rapper made your bones off of dissing the Cheneys and then siding with them to put them back in power. That's just
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fucking.
that's embarrassing. Don't don't make that your career. Stay. Have
The OG
virtues.
Eminem would be with us on America.
That's right.
Now.
That's exact. Slim Shady spinning in his grave. Thank you, Vivek. This is so awesome. There's the cover of the book, Truths. You can find it on Amazon. We'll put the link in the description. God bless you, Vivek. We're gonna win, buddy.
It'd be like it wasn't. Now that I think about it, it's like, guess who's back? Back again. Soy boy's back. Tell a friend. Because oh my God, dude. How do you become so disassociated with your own fan base that you go around and support the people that are for censorship, for taking away guns, and for establishments like that? How are you going to release an anti-woke song criticizing the woke rhetoric and then side with the woke party? It just makes no sense to me, man. Like, holy shit, dude. Eminem and Snoop Dogg are both just fucking sellouts, honestly. Like, I would have rather them stay out of it and not endorse anyone than them to go back against their morals and their own standards and sell out and then support the people that are straight up the things they rap about against. But yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have a civil discussion as always. Don't attack each other. Don't be mean. Keep it civilized. Comment section is to express yourself and to not be attacked. So yeah, have a civil discussion. Let me know what y'all think. Don't be mean to each other. And I will catch you in the next little video.